Hi, my name is Moshe, and I'm going to talk to you about TRE, trauma release exercises. It started by Dr. David Berceli, and he came across the TRE system by a couple of observations that he made. The first was from observing people in places where there's a lot of trauma, so parts of Asia, Africa, the Middle East, and what he found was that a lot of people, when they were experiencing trauma, would get into the fetal position. So they kind of curl into a ball. They might be curling their arms around their knees. They might be holding their head forward like that. But what he found that was interesting was that it was an innate behavior. So it didn't matter which part of the world he was. That was a natural reaction that the body responded, that the body would respond to trauma by curling into the fetal position. And what this showed him, one of the things when you're in that position, is that your psoas are very active. So this area right here, kind of, if you move your fingers from the hips down to the center, you'll feel the psoas. And so what he realized was that the psoas are a very active muscle when dealing with trauma. The second thing that he noticed was from observing animals and young children, a lot of young children, that when an animal is in a traumatic situation, if a deer is being attacked by a bear, for example, once the traumatic situation is finished, once the deer realizes that it's safe from the bear, it might start to go into kind of a shaking or tremoring state. And through research and through observation, what Dr. Berceli concluded was that this tremoring system that animals and children naturally do was a way of getting the body back, relaxing the nervous system, and helping it get back to its regular day. If you look at a deer after being attacked by a bear, the deer will just kind of pop up after tremoring and get on with its day. Humans often don't have that ability, and the reason for that is because when we are in a dangerous situation, we are in the fight or flight state. A lot of us are familiar with this. What this means is that we're in a very hypersensitive state. We're very aware of every sound that we hear. We're very aware of our surroundings. We see small things moving. We're just in a very highly sensitized state. And in order to get past that, get out of that fight or flight state, we have to close that loop. And the TRE system, using the TRE exercises and activating that tremoring sequence, is a way to recover from that fight or flight state. It helps close that loop. And very often trauma is something, first of all, that's long lasting, and second of all, is a spectrum. So it's long lasting in the sense that even if we experienced a trauma 20 years ago, if we haven't closed that fight or flight loop, we could literally still be in that state after 20 years. We still might be triggered by certain events that remind us of the original trauma. Or even just in general, we might carry certain anxieties with us that started with that tremor because we never closed that loop. And the second thing to acknowledge is that it is a spectrum. Trauma is a spectrum. If as a child, I asked a friend of mine for a candy, and not only did they say no, but they ridiculed me for wanting the candy. Maybe they made fun of my weight or my size. Then even if it's a relatively small trauma, it's something that the body continues to carry with it. And until we close that loop, our body is going to carry that with us. So this isn't meant to replace other forms of therapy, such as talk therapy, that might deal with the emotional baggage of that trauma. But what the TRE exercises do is help the body deal with the physical manifestations of that trauma that we've been carrying with us. It doesn't have to be a major trauma to benefit from the TRE exercises. It can also be a low-grade, again, even a low-grade trauma, or even just the day-to-day stresses of living. TRE exercises are a great way to just help the body relieve itself of some of the stress that it's been carrying. So at another time, we'll go through the TRE exercises, but this is a little intro about the TRE exercises, the benefits, and how they started.